It is day 3 of testimony in the Dale-Warner murder trial. I'm Melissa Andrews, a crime and investigative reporter covering the murder trial of Dale Warner. He's accused of killing his wife Dee in 2021 and then welding her inside a fertilizer tank where she was found 3 years later. So the judge started off today with a warning for the audience not to make any gestures or facial expressions because theoretically this could be seen as communicating with the jury. So we're back on the stand with Deputy Austin Hall, who is on body cam with Detective Kevin Greca. You remember him? He was the detective who was allegedly on the lam at some point for not wanting to testify or cooperate with these proceedings. So it's Greca, Hall, and Dale in the kitchen. Greca asks if Dale has any questions. Dale says yes, but he doesn't remember them. So Greca talks about this girl who took Dale's phone and the iPad. It's going to the state police crime lab. Dale keeps saying he can't make sense of any of this. She's taken off 100 times. They have 3 businesses. It can be stressful. He says what's different this time is that she's had COVID. Zach had said that some charges appeared on some accounts. They'd been monitoring the accounts, but then those appeared to be monthly charges. The deputy says, basically, we're going to square one. It's been over a week. We're just going back through all of this. Dale goes back over that night. He said, we're not going to argue tonight. It was about the altercation between Terry and Dale, Terry and Dee. So she says, let's sell everything. He says, it's not your decision. This is our business. Dee was convinced. Dale was telling people she was on Xanax. This was Saturday around 11 when Dee was at the soccer game. Dale says he got home at 8:30 that night. He went out to Finley. He offers for him to cook for Dee. She refuses. She keeps wanting to talk about Terry and Dale doesn't. He keeps saying he rubbed her back and she fell asleep on the couch. Next morning, he says she was asleep when he left at 6. He goes through the whole story that we've heard already. Dale says Dee's relationship with Lena is love-hate. They bicker about things, but then Dee gives her ice cream and Panera every day. Dale says it's been hell with Dee gone because he doesn't know anything with the school, soccer, or dance schedule. They're still going to celebrate Mother's Day. He says on a schedule of 1 to 10, this wasn't even a 5 type of fight. They've had much worse ones. Greca says for the first time, you are a huge potential suspect in this for what it's worth. And then asks Dale for a picture of his arms. Dale takes his shirt off. They photograph it. Apparently, in later testimony, they said there were no scratches or bruises or scabs or anything. Greca says if someone was going to harm Dee, they wouldn't leave her ring on your desk. Dale says she wears $150,000 to $200,000 worth of jewelry. There was something about a check, PPP check in the car. Didn't quite catch that. The detective asked Dale if she's used substances or suicidal. He says, I can't put that out of the realm. Dale says he's still trying to figure out who could have picked her up. And he has heard many rumors of who's my wife been with. Greca asks if she could be a lesbian. They say there's got to be somebody who picked her up. Dale questions whether Dee has been meeting someone at Panera and is gone for 2 hours. Suggests getting video from Panera. He says it's been choose your battles, don't ask questions. I don't think she's having an affair, but I've heard so many rumors around. At this point, I see one of the jurors keeps nodding off. Juror number 11. He's an older man, maybe in his 60s, and he kept nodding off. The questioning of Hall continues. Cross-examination. Did Mr. Warner know this was being recorded? Hall assumes so. You didn't see any scratches or marks or anything like it was healing? No. All right. And then they talked about some blood found in Greg Hardy's barn. It later was confirmed it was animal blood, and that he had kicked the investigators off the property on the 27th, saying he had stuff to do prior to them getting there. Next up is Dustin Lally. He is Dee's daughter Raquel's boyfriend since 2016. They have 3 kids together. He says when Dale wasn't around, Dee was more relaxed and laid back. She was really uptight and watching over her shoulder when Dale was around. Dale would make degrading comments about her cooking, like, what the hell is this? This isn't done. This is burned. And comments about Dee's clothing loud enough to hear. About 24 times, he says. There was an incident regarding the Hummer in July of 2020. Dee asked Dustin to look at something she found in her Hummer. Dee handed him a small black device and said she found it in the Hummer. It plugs into the vehicle sensor that's like right by your knee in the driver's side. So next, he says the lights were on in the house late at night on April 24th. And then he says the door was always unlocked. That's something that we've seen the defense try to put in there. He said he noticed the Hummer and the front end loader were at the office. They went to the office because they thought she was there. So we've heard this story before about the searching and the searching. He also said Dale came in a few times and said, not sure where she went. Said he was going to go spray twice. The kids said, let's call the police. And Dale said something like, I wouldn't get ahead of yourself. He has maintained a decent acquaintance ship with Dale at this time. Dale came over in July and talked in the living room, and he said, Dee fucking hated you, right? And she probably ran off with another guy. He asked to borrow the front loader and asked what was going on. This is Dustin asked of Dale what's going on. And Dale said, they're trying to fucking pin this on me. He said because he kicked them off the property and they wanted to get in the spray barn. On cross-examination, they established that Dee would roll her eyes at some of the negative comments. He had never seen it plugged in the tracker and had no personal knowledge of where it was found. He said no. They said, you didn't see anything unusual when you drove past the house? And he said no. And they said the doors were never locked. He said correct. Okay, so we recess at 11:45. I'll do a part 2 for the second half of the day.